Book Club Tuesdays, but also we get into what I believe to say that something new that is on the show that I've really sat down and thought we actually need, which is African Insights. So I brought into studio Patrick and also Chris are going to be chatting to us about this particular situation. Not even situation, but this information, you know, expanding beyond what we know in our own borders, and also putting a lot of literature into the hands of the listeners. And I think that's kind of something that we need to relatively do, considering also we're still celebrating literacy, even though like the week is actually gone, but we're still in the world of National Literacy Week. Now with that, Chris, Patrick, good afternoon, gents.
Hello, how are you?
How are you guys doing?
We're fine, and how are you?
Absolutely amazing, gents. I think before anything, please introduce what you do outside of teaching people about the world of literacy, and also, I guess, being the kind of people that students don't like. I don't know why, but you guys will explain. You guys will do that.
Yeah, students don't like it when you have to give them marks, and that's what we do.
Cool. I'll start with you, Chris. A bit about your background.
Yeah, so talking about literacy, I'm in the English department at UJ.
Yeah.
I'm all about literature. That's what I'm interested in, especially African literature. That's like kind of my thing.
Yeah.
And my research topic, which I'm very interested in. So yeah, that's me. That's what I do.
Okay, awesome stuff. Patrick.
I'm Patrick, and I come from the philosophy department of UJ. I just completed my second master's.
Wow! Congratulations,
Yeah,
second masters, eh?
Thank you. And I specialize in philosophy of migration, among other things that I do.
Philosophy migration.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's already sound like a lecture. We can go home, guys. Like, woo! Great stuff. Patrick's done his job. Now, obviously, expanding into the history and the background of this whole conversation. Why is it so important that we know African literature, gentlemen?
Yeah. So we're actually now, I think, in week 11 or 12 of African Insights of the course.
Yeah.
And we are particularly looking at diaspora. So that's kind of what we're looking at in these 2 weeks. So we're looking at diaspora, exile, slavery, human trafficking, all these like intense stuff. But that's really important for us to learn about these things and expose our students to and have conversations like we're having today about this particular topic.
So one place to begin is to ask the question, what is diaspora?
Yeah.
Now, diaspora is a big term. That means the movement of people across places.
Diaspora,
yes.
Okay.
And historically, it is referred to the movement of Jewish people dispersed around the world. So you have them in Russia, you have them in Germany, you have them in the UK, you have them in South Africa. But the term has evolved to mean much more than that today.
Yeah, so we have the African diaspora. So it's, with the Jewish diaspora, people scattered across the world. That's what diaspora means. It means to scatter. So people leave their countries often. Well, history has shown not voluntarily, because why would you want to leave your home?
Yeah.
You know, if you're enjoying it, if everything's going great, why do you want to leave?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are displaced because of wars, obviously, religious differences in different countries. And of course, I think that's why we're reading not too long ago about the stats about how many people are displaced in the world internationally. And I mean, 30% of them are coming from Africa that had to leave their homes.
Yes. Yeah, and that's like in modern times, you know, we have Syria, we have people in Syria who are refugees who flee to different countries. They don't have a choice. They have to. In the past, of course, you know, we've had slavery. People were forcibly removed, especially from Africa, and taken to the United Kingdom, well, to the United States, Caribbean, South America, all over the world. So it's a big issue, and it influences culture. It influences how we relate to each other. It influences our politics. We can see sort of, you know, a rise of nationalism in many countries across the world, especially if we look towards the US. You know, Donald Trump, controversial figure, does not want to accept people who come from these war-torn countries.
Sure, I mean, South Africa, xenophobia. A lot of South Africans are xenophobic because majority do not realize that these are people that are seeking refuge. They're not here because they're just bored in their own countries, but they realize that there is an opportunity of a better life, and anyone anywhere in the world knows that once you get an opportunity to live a better life, you're going to take it. If you get that chance, you're going to take it. But now, how do we expand the strength of equipping people on the ground with such conversations? How do we expand by giving this knowledge to the masses?
One thing is to understand why diaspora occurs, and as you have rightly mentioned, that people move from their homeland for different reasons.
Correct.
In Africa particularly, you have wars in different places. In Somalia, for example, you have Eritrea, which has not been so peaceful. You have the different parts of Africa where different things are going on, including economic problems. So people are forced to move. When they move, that constitutes a situation of diaspora. People try and find a home where they can live peacefully and happily. But that's one aspect of diaspora. As I said at the beginning, diaspora has come to constitute many things. One of them you mentioned was xenophobia. People come down to South Africa. Oh, we know, if you read news, you watch TV, you'll find that many Africans are trying to cross the Red Sea to go into Europe for different reasons. But that's one aspect of it. Another aspect of diaspora is human trafficking. People are trafficked, women and men, children, for various reasons. They are forced to go and do mostly work which is exploitative.
Yeah. And I want to add to what you're saying about xenophobia. You know, in our conversations with the students of African Insight, you know, we ask them, what does it mean to be an African? What is an African identity? And often students say, you know, it's about Ubuntu, it's about caring for the other person. But then we have these cases of extreme xenophobia and violence against, you know, our fellow Africans. And what is that about? Why do we have this xenophobic attitudes towards people who, you know, who are meant to be part of the same sort of homeland? Africa's our homeland, you know what I'm saying? So it begs the question as to what is a nation? Why do people distinguish so strongly against each other? You know, I'm a South African, or you are from Zimbabwe, or you are from Nigeria. And we have all these attitudes towards these people. Why do those things exist? And so you asked about how do we get this message across? And I think the point is to talk about it like we do now in this course. We learn about it, we learn about the history. Why do we have nations? Because of colonialism, because it drew these artificial boundaries. It made nations out of nothing.
Sure. What's interesting, if you didn't know, today we celebrate the late but also heroic Steve Biko, which whereby today, being the 12th of September 1997, he was assassinated. Now, of course, that begs a big thing, because this is a person who was a big contributor to the struggle of South Africa and Africa as a whole when it comes to the movement. Here's a clip. It's called Cry Freedom. Have a listen, and I guess most importantly, expand your mind and knowledge about the history of it. Someone asked me, Melody, what if Steve Biko was alive today? I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. But what I do know is we are able to hear in his own words.
This is the biggest illegal gathering I've ever seen. I heard what the last speaker had to say, and I agree. We are going to change South Africa. What we've got to decide is the best way to do that. And as angry as we have the right to be, let us remember that we are in this struggle to kill the idea that one kind of man is superior to another kind of man. And killing that idea is not dependent on the white man. We must stop looking to him to give us something.